What if the woman who had everything was secretly waiting for someone who had nothing? On a freezing rainy night in downtown Chicago, Daniel Carter sat outside a massive corporate building with his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, wrapped tightly in his old jacket. Cars rushed past them. Nobody stopped. Nobody cared. Just hours earlier, Daniel had lost his job, the last thing holding his broken life together. Since losing his wife 3 years ago, every day had become a fight to survive. Bills piled up. Friends disappeared. Hope faded little by little. But no matter how hard life became, Daniel always protected Lily with a smile. Even when he was falling apart inside, "Daddy," Lily whispered softly, "are we okay?" Daniel looked into her innocent eyes and lied the only way a loving father could. "We always will be." High above the street, inside a glass office overlooking the city lights, Victoria Hale stood alone beside her window. Powerful, wealthy, famous. At just 34, she owned one of the largest tech companies in America. Magazines called her unstoppable. Employees feared her cold perfection. But behind closed doors, Victoria lived with a pain no success could erase. Years earlier, she lost her younger brother in a tragic accident, one she secretly blamed herself for every single day. Since then, her world had become emotionally empty. No love, no trust, no real happiness. Then she noticed Daniel, a tired father shielding his daughter from the storm with his own body. Something about that moment shattered the emotional walls she had spent years building. Ignoring her security team, Victoria rushed downstairs into the rain. When Daniel saw her approaching, he immediately stood up nervously. "Sorry," he said quickly. "We're leaving?" Victoria glanced at Lily, who was trembling from the cold. "You don't have to leave," she replied gently. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Lily smiled at Victoria, and somehow that tiny smile changed everything. Victoria invited them into the lobby while the storm passed. Daniel resisted at first. Pride was all he had left. But Lily needed warmth, so he accepted quietly. As they sat together under soft golden lights, Victoria listened to Daniel's story. The endless night shifts, the unpaid rent, the sacrifices, the loneliness. And for the first time in years, someone spoke to Victoria without caring about her money or status. Daniel saw something others never noticed. Behind her confidence was sadness, real sadness. Over the following weeks, Victoria couldn't stop thinking about Daniel and Lily. She began visiting the small diner where Daniel worked temporary shifts. She brought Lily books after learning the little girl loved reading. Sometimes she even sat with them in the park, laughing at simple things she once considered meaningless. Slowly, Daniel's guarded heart began opening again, and Victoria started feeling alive for the first time in years. One evening, the three of them visited a riverside carnival glowing with music and lights. Lily ran excitedly between the game booths while Daniel and Victoria walked side by side beneath the stars. "You know," Daniel said quietly, "you don't seem happy for someone who has everything." Victoria smiled sadly. "Maybe because money can buy comfort, but not peace." For a second, they simply looked at each other. And in that silence, something deeper than attraction began growing. Something neither of them expected. Later that night, fireworks exploded across the river as Lily slept peacefully on Daniel's shoulder. Victoria looked at them emotionally. She had spent years chasing success, believing achievements could heal loneliness. But standing beside Daniel, she realized something terrifying. She was falling in love, not with power, not with perfection, but with kindness, with warmth, with a man who still chose love after life destroyed him. and that scared her more than anything. But happiness never comes easily. Soon, social media rumors exploded online. A billionaire CEO dating a homeless single father. News channels mocked Daniel. Investors pressured Victoria. Her company's board demanded she end the relationship before it damaged the brand. Daniel saw the pressure destroying her career. So one morning, he disappeared. No phone call, no goodbye, just silence. When Victoria arrived at his apartment, the room was empty except for a small note. "Thank you for reminding us what kindness feels like." Her heart shattered instantly. Days later, after searching across the city, Victoria finally found Daniel sitting alone at the same rainy bus stop where they first met. "You deserve better than this," Daniel said painfully. Victoria stepped closer, tears filling her eyes. "No," she whispered. "I deserve something real." Daniel looked away, overwhelmed. But then Lily suddenly grabbed both their hands together. And in that small emotional moment, surrounded by noise, rain, and city lights, they finally understood something life had been trying to teach them all along. Sometimes love doesn't appear when life is perfect. Sometimes it arrives when two broken people need each other the most. And sometimes one unexpected night can change everything forever.